What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video. This is going to be pretty much an overview of this past duck season and just putting out some numbers. So I ended up with 73 ducks and one band. It was on a mallard. That band, I think it was a year old, year and a half old. So it's a young bird. It was banded in Kenosha, Wisconsin. As for the actual duck numbers itself, I ended up with 4 green-winged teal, 4 blue-winged teal, 6 woodies, 1 Ross goose, 17 gadwall, 22 mallards, 3 redheads, 1 bluebill, 4 ruddies, 1 canvasback, 7 ringnecks, and 2 pintail. Now, what does that tell us about the season? So I went and calculated up all the places I went to. I wrote down like the weather conditions and the blind locations that I used. And obviously the best days to hunt for me this past season was when it was really cold, when there was a storm front coming in, so far as like, something like rain or, it was cloudy. I didn't really have too good of days when it was sunny out, especially when it was windy. Depending on the blind location is where that really affected that, because I guess they used a different part of the WMA. But I had more days where the wind was coming out of the southwest, which I guess was blowing more of like a warmer weather to us. But the days that it was like a northeast wind was better, obviously, than a southwest wind. But some of these blinds that I hunted out of this season, a lot of them are facing in a way where you almost have to have a northeast wind to be able to hunt it. So, or you're looking back over the back of the blind, depending, on the wind direction. But I wish that this next season, if I do a little bit more better scouting on the actual locations where I want to hunt versus finding the ducks, because I feel like I have that under my belt on the general area where I like hunting here in Tennessee. I think the blind locations and getting away from everybody is going to be my biggest thing. So I'm not sure in your states how it works, but around here it seems like as soon as a shot goes off on a WMA, pretty much you can hang it up for working anything around you for at least a couple minutes. Except for like at that first flight, but half the time those birds are they're wanting to be up in there anyway. But more times than not, when I was working birds, a random shot would go off on a WMA, which was kind of frustrating. The other thing is other blinds trying to call the ducks off of you. So you would have a group circling you, and I say a group, anywhere from 2 to 15 ducks. And I mean, they would definitely be doing circles like right over top of your blind. And you have a blind out here in Tennessee, they put blinds like pretty much on top of each other. So I'd have a blind like 200 yards away, and the guy's just screaming on the duck call. It doesn't sound natural at all, or anything like that. And it's almost like that military person, that military mentality. I'm not sure if they were military people doing it or not, but that's what I dislike pretty much about my own profession is that, it's like, we got to have it. We need it. This is our mission. We have to accomplish it, that sort of thing. It's like when you get out there and you got another blind working ducks, just let them work the ducks. Because that was really frustrating. And half the time those birds would turn around and flare because they knew, they're in a bad area. Everybody screaming at them, doing the competition type, hail calls and all that sort of stuff. It's ridiculous. But that, I'd say for the most part, that was the biggest thing that got under my skin. But once I started finding locations where ducks were, and it was out and away from everybody. I mean, I would leaving the boat ramp, I would drive almost, 45 minutes to an hour in a boat to get out away from everyone. That's where I found the most success. It wasn't big number of ducks, like it would be, if I was in the middle of all the chaos, but they were actually like workable, where they would actually like cut down in the hole. So this season also, I didn't film that well. I did film every hunt, but a lot of those hunts, I was killing the ducks like right at first light. And with the GoPro, for one, it's, you know, it almost looks like it's like a macro lens to where everything looks like it's far away and you really couldn't see anything. And then to include it being dark, I feel like it wasn't even worth my time editing to throw it up there for you just to, you know, hear me calling, shooting, and you may see something hit the water. But the ones I did upload, at least you can somewhat see something. As for editing, I changed up how I was doing that towards the end of the season. So I would pretty much take from multiple hunts and take the best clips and then put them all together. So if you've watched any of my videos, you should be able to see that. But besides that, my goal was to hit 100 ducks. If I was shooting a whole lot better, that's all on me. I definitely could have shot at least 100, if not more than that. But I mean, 73 ain't nothing to be mad at, especially with one band. And I got that at the very beginning of the season. So if you haven't seen that video, that's something to go check out. But I'm going to go ahead and throw in, they're having the turkey convention down there in Nashville. I'm going to go ahead and drop those clips right now. I would have did more filming down there in Nashville at the convention, but I went on a Saturday and everybody and their brother was there. I was pushing a stroller. I highly don't suggest going on Saturday because everybody and their mother was there. It was crazy how packed it was, which I guess is good for the sport, but also bad for guys like me where, you know, I actually want to, you know, shop around and look and, you know, talk to people and that sort of thing. But I mean, it was almost like every second I was bumping into somebody. But I got to see Dr. Duck. I went and talked to Fur Shed Taxidermy. Really nice guy. If you haven't checked his stuff out on Instagram or Facebook, so Will's definitely produces some good taxidermy. And then I went by, let's see here. I went by the Benelli stand. Talked to them about their new shotguns, about their youth models, and trying to prep for the little one. He's about to be 7, so he's on that verge of being able to take out. So I'm torn in between like a 410, a 20 gauge, you know, something where it doesn't have a lot of recoil to it, and then also in the youth model. And I know Benelli's a good gun, but it all comes down to, you know, how it fits. So I don't know what I'll end up with getting them, but as for the season, hopefully that sums up how I did. This is more so, I guess, for myself. Hopefully you've watched this far, but my plans for pretty much the summer and spring is we got turkey season coming up. I'm going to do some recording on that. I plan on doing a little bit of fishing versus what I did last season or last summer. I didn't really fish that much. I took my son out maybe twice, maybe 3 times, but we're going to go try to get after the crappie and catfish and all that sort of stuff. Maybe get him a little bit more interested into doing that sort of thing. And then we should roll right into getting ready for duck season again. But I will, like I said before on the last, 2 videos, I've got deeper into the taxidermy stuff, so I have multiple birds to do in the freezer. I have a video that's about to drop of that here soon, just doing, you know, some how-to stuff. And I should start hanging birds here shortly, so y'all can start seeing like my drying process, how I wire wings and all that sort of thing. So, but if you're a taxidermist and you're watching this, please critique it, leave it in the comments. You know, let me know what I need to change. Anything that makes life a little bit easier, I'm always open to suggestions. So that's how we become better, especially as duck hunters too. But I'll quit rambling. We'll go ahead and end this video. I appreciate y'all watching. And if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up for me and leaving leaving a comment down below. It helps out on the algorithm. But until next time, I've been Chris. This has been Duckalope Outdoors. Y'all stay safe out there.